Hi, this is Natalie from Image and Focus and Image and Focus podcast, where I help Christian women who lose with a poor self-image, lose weight, and live healthy and abundant lives. So we are in the middle of relapse season. Relapse season occurs from October 31st and ends around January 5th. This is when you throw all of your hard-earned efforts and out the window because you succumb to food temptation. And because it's the holiday season and you're bombarded with all the sweet treats, you're bombarded with all the savory, starchy, oh so ooey gooey foods, right? And you overindulge. And then before you know it, you have forgotten about your weight loss goals. So I'm here to give you 3 tips on how to survive relapse season so you can stay on track with your weight loss goals. So 1 is to have a contingency plan. And when you have a plan and you stick with it, that's the key, to stick with it, then this will help you to navigate relapse season without relapsing and still holding true to your weight loss goals. So when you plan, you are already knowing what your weaknesses are, and you are figuring out how to maneuver, finding alternatives, finding ways to move around this season without sacrificing your weight loss goals and having all the labor that you've done thus far on your weight loss journey in vain. So that means figuring out, okay, if it's going to be inclement weather, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to the gym, or am I going to stay home and use a fitness app and do my workouts? That's having a plan, a contingency plan. Or maybe it's the food aspect where you're invited to a party. Bring something that you know that is in line with your weight loss goals, so that if there's nothing else at the party that's in line with your weight loss goals, at least you know you have something there. Or you can eat ahead of time, and then when you go there, you just pretty much will maybe drink beverages or snack a little bit, but you won't be there hungry. So this is what I mean, having a contingency plan, planning out what's going to occur before it occurs, because this is what's going to stop you from overindulging in foods and having you stay on track with your weight loss goals. The second one is knowing your weaknesses. If you know that pies and cookies and cakes and all the sweet treats is your downfall, then know that and don't deny that it is. And either you have a small piece of it, and then the rest of the day or the rest of the event, you are eating veggies or you're eating fruit. Or if you know you have no self-control at all, that you know if you just have one bite, you're just going to have all of it, then avoid it altogether and then just have fruit. This is what it means to be aware, know your weaknesses, and then act accordingly. If you know that your weakness is that when it comes to exercising, when it's cold, you're not going to do anything, that's when you make sure that you have your gym set up in your house, where at least you have some dumbbells, an exercise mat, some fitness apps that you like, and maybe a treadmill or a stationary bike, so that you know you can stay on track with your exercise goals on your weight loss journey. And then lastly is to be kind to yourself, to speak kindly, because you may end up lapsing. But just because you lapse, there's a difference between a relapse and a lapse. A lapse is just a small, like say, for example, at lunchtime, you will overindulge in cookies and cake. But then dinner time, you're back on track. A lapse is when you wallow, a relapse is more so when you wallow in it is a continuous thing. And you're just like, you're giving up and you're going back to your former ways. So either way, if you have a lapse or relapse, the point is you get back up. You don't wallow in it. You don't beat yourself up and have guilt and shame about it. You acknowledge that you made a lapse, and then you learn from it, so what you could have done better, and then apply that lesson and then move on and keep going on your weight loss journey. So this is what I mean when I say these are the 3 tips that will help you to survive relapse season. Is 1, having a contingency plan, 2, knowing your weaknesses, and 3, showing yourself grace and kindness. Because if you don't do these things, most likely you will fall into the relapse season downfall, and you have to start all over again. And I don't want you to start all over again just because of a piece of cake. So continue on with your weight loss journey. Take care. Bye-bye.